Warren Buffett, right? Now, let me just tell you something very interesting. Do you remember Martha Mitchell?
Yes.
She was kidnapped, right?
Yes.
And then a week later, she died from some kind of strange cancer, right?
Yes.
Now, anytime you can kidnap the Attorney General's wife, of the United States, when you become the Attorney General of the United States, you're the number one cop in the world because America is the number one mightiest power on the planet, okay? Now, when you can kidnap the Attorney General's wife of the United States, and as we talk right now, brother, nobody's ever been arrested for that kidnap? Huh? Did you hear me?
No, you're right.
Okay, now, why was she kidnapped? Because she heard her husband and a bunch of the old white boys sitting around in their living room with their cognac talking about when the World Trade Building was going to be blown up. She was outraged. She wasn't in the room. This was the white boy meeting. And she got on him and said, well, I'm going to tell the world on Monday. I hold a press conference. She was kidnapped, man. Shot her in the butt with a cancer shot. And she died. And we keep paying our rent, and we keep doing this and looking at all this old crazy kind of stuff and don't know what's really going on. And so, consequently, when you sit and look, now, while I was watching this, the people started getting tired and they started making mistakes. Now, ask you a question now. If that building has 54,000 people who work there in the World Trade, and by evening there's over 120,000 people in the building. People coming there for business, coming for to view and all that. Now, around the corner, a block and a half around the corner, is Fire Station 7, something like that. They go there every day, year-round, a minimum of 50 times, maximum of 75. Why? Because if your smoke detector blow out, you can get a fuse and put in it. But because of the insurance on a building like that, the amount of people that's in there, you can't do that. You have to call the fire department, and they'll send someone there. You get a bill for it to put that fuse in and then clear that it's working, okay? So I'm going to say this again. That fire station, a block and a half company, go there a minimum of 50 times every day, a maximum of 75. On September the 11th, there was 343 firefighters killed. That's not counting the ones that was injured. That's not counting the cops. Just firefighters. Not one firefighter was killed and injured from number 7, a block and a half. Okay? A block and a half from the World Trade Building. Not one of those firefighters was injured or killed. Did somebody know something? I mean, firefighters came from all over the city, and many of them died or was injured right around the corner. Nothing. And so when you sit and you think about, how it works and how many people, so I'm watching it. I'm looking at it because I know what they do. I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at it, and then they start getting tired. And then I heard CNN interview a guy, and he says, where were you when this happened? This was a day later. I said, well, I was, I'm going to school to be a first responder, and I got about 6 months, and then I heard this awful noise, and I started running towards it, and I open up this door, and I go in there, and there's about 100 FBI and Homeland Security people there. There. I said, what do you mean? I said, I wondered how they got there that quick. 2 days later, they was interviewing one of the guys from Homeland Security, and I guess he was just tired. He said, yeah, we sent a team in here 2 days before it happened so we could be in place.
Yeah, that was Kennedy. And then he said, I was a mistake. And later it was confirmed the whole drill that was used to cover up wiring the buildings was called Tripod 2. And they'd already moved out of all the buildings, their own offices, to run the drill from the end of the pier, blowing it all up. A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research. Well, unfortunately, we're almost out of time. And there was all this news I wanted to go over with Dick Gregory, but the time has gone so fast, and I promise you it won't be 2 years till the next time he's back on. In fact, I hope to get him on regularly because he's such an interesting person. I've got to bring it up or folks will get mad because we've had the phone lines filling up saying, ask him about Obama. What does he think about Obama? What is your view? And I understand at the end of the day, I see it as positive that, you know, America could elect a black president just because it shows some unity. But I see the system as doing it as a way to actually drive wedges in the final equation. And he's signing in martial law provisions, NDAA. All of this is happening. And he's able to do things Bush could never get away with because of the left cover. In the final equation, what do you think's going on with Barack Obama, Dick Gregory?
Well, I'll put it this way. I was one of the ones that was thrilled while he got elected. I just said, wow, it's going to run so many people crazy. And we saw that happen on Inauguration Day when you have one of the most powerful men in the world, the Supreme Court, the Chief Justice. All he got to do is read 2 sentences and looked up and saw that black face and messed up. now nobody, we jump on a redneck for doing something, but when somebody with his power do it, we kind of ignore it and say blah, blah, blah. And so I'm so glad because it might, with all of the other stuff, I mean, am I living in a country where they're telling me it is easier for a black person to be elected president than to be a senator? Are you telling me I got a black president, but I don't have a black senator? You know, so it's a whole lot of stuff hooked around that. I was hoping that Herman Cain would have won the nomination for the Republicans, and then America would have 2 black men to pick from. One that they say is a genius, and the other one they made him come off looking like buckwheat. You know? But let me tell you something about Herman Cain. I've been telling people for 2 years, watch a black man named Herman Cain, one of the brilliant minds on the planet. And people laughed when they saw the script they wrote for him. But let me tell you who Herman Cain is. Herman Cain was chairman of the Kansas City Federal Reserve. I know you knew that, right?
Yes.
Did you know that out of the 12 Federal Reserves in America, Kansas City was the first one? Did you know that?
Well, yes, and I also know it's very, very powerful.
And also, when you go to and see the movie or the play, The Wizard of Oz, do you know Oz? Do you know that's about the Kansas City Federal Reserve?
Yes, sir, I did know that.
Okay, that's how vicious they were. The wicked. And so we got to ask yourself, well, who is Herman Cain? And so when I sit and I look at what's going on and what's happening, my grandmother, you understand? See, what I have to be careful of is the way people treat celebrities. There's a whole lot of celebrities. You had a white boy that left his wife in the car, Beretta, and went back in to get his gun, and came back and she was dead, and nobody's asked him, why you carrying a gun? What, you took it in the restaurant? Did you check it, or did you take it? Is it normal to go in the restaurant, eat, take your gun, sit in a chair? Celebrity status. And when you look at Obama, he's a celebrity to a lot of young folks and to a lot of black folks. And they let celebrities, you don't have to ask many things. Look at Tiger Woods. He was a celebrity to black folks in a white, racist, sexist system. I live in a country where white boys, all they had to do was call a white woman a witch, and they could burn her at the stake. And we have never washed this filth off. So when you get somebody come down the line that looks the look and talks the talk, and as a celebrity, as a black person, I know a whole lot of stuff about a whole lot of people I wouldn't dare say on this radio show or no other radio show.
I bet. You know what? 5 more minutes of overdrive. This is amazing. Back in 60 seconds, Infowars.com.
At work.
Coming up, Obama executive order paves the way for nationalization of the economy. Right now, Dick Gregory is with us, the tail end of that interview. I really appreciate him coming on, civil rights icon. Really interesting perspectives on things. We were just talking during the break, and you were going off into Obama. Please repeat what you were saying, sir.
I was saying, I knew many years before he was elected, we getting ready for a black president. When you got 4 movies come out of Hollywood showing black men as presidents, they weren't comedies. And the #1 TV show on the land was 24, a black president assassinated by the Secretary of State, so he really better keep his eye on Hillary. Please.
Oh, yeah, Hillary's super bad news. So, I mean, you've had a chance to meet President Obama?
No, I never. Look, if I was invited to the White House today, I wouldn't go, because when you take all the things that I've said that go on in this country, and they would say, well, let me tell you about Dick Gregory. Here's what he said. No. He got his own problems.
Let me ask you this, though. If you were standing before Barack Obama, because I know a lot of these presidents are just reading off teleprompters, but he's obviously a very smart guy, but he's following orders. I mean, if I was in front of Obama, I'd say, I understand that you're blackmailed, all these things, but you should really back off all this corruption. I mean, what would you say to Obama if you had 2 minutes to talk to him?
If I had 2 minutes to talk to him, I'd say, one, I'm so glad you was President of the United States, because I have to apologize to all white folks, because before you became president, I was convinced that all black folks look alike to white folks. Now that you're the president, I haven't had one white person walk up to me and say, excuse me, Mr. President. So I know we don't all look alike. The other thing I'd ask him, I said, man, I'm having a financial problem. Would you be my co-signer? Can you talk to the people in China and see if they would, slip me a little loan like they slip y'all? That's all I'd say to him. He don't have no control over what's going on. No president has control. You know that. They don't have no control over what's going on. When Kennedy thought they had control, they had a bullet waiting for him. When Bobby thought, I'm going to get in and find out, they had a bullet waiting for him. Let me tell you this story real quick. I'm doing Irv Kupcinet's show in Chicago the first day of June. And no, it was the last of May. And me and Bobby was close friends. And Bobby said to me during the commercial, said, when you going to come to California and help me during the primary? And I said, when you going? He said, tonight. I said, well, give me my $1. You owe me. And now I don't know, the commercials off and we back on. And Irv comes, what y'all talking about? I said, he owed me $1. And he said he's going to California tonight for the primary. And I'm telling him, nah, if he wins, he'll never leave there alive. Now, about 3 days after Bobby was killed, Irv Kupcinet called me and had the show. He said, Dick, you okay? I said, yeah, what do you mean? Come on, you can be honest with me. I'm your friend. Are you okay? I said, I'm okay. What do you mean? He said, Bobby, what do you mean? He said, well, the FBI came in here and ransacked my office and got that tape where you were saying what you're saying. And I said, no, they wouldn't dare come by my house. So that's the life I live, man.
Wow. You know what? I've got to get you back on the show soon just to talk about the history you've witnessed. So the FBI wanted the tape of that radio broadcast where you were able to predict that they were going to kill him.
So I can tell you, but I can never show you the piece of tape, right?
Wow.
That's the whole game. See, Hoover thought he was in charge. They killed Hoover. Man, they found Hoover sitting on the toilet trying to get that poison out of him. And then ransacked his whole thing. He thought he had some power, and he didn't realize there's a group bigger than him. There's a group bigger than Queen Elizabeth. I don't have to tell you. You know, London is not part of Britain. You know that.
The city of London within it is the ancient mega banks, and
that's right.
They are nasty.
And you know, when Queen Elizabeth want to go into London, she got to get permission from the Lord Mayors. You know that, right?
That's right.
And you know if they give her permission, she got to come in dressed as a servant, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we see they got us believing this one thing of it. And let me take this last second to say this to you. There's certain people